Greetings everyone, and I hope you're all doing well out there, and welcome back to the channel for another unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And today we're going to be taking an up-close look at Fishbone's take on Al Pacino as Michael Corleone in the classic movie that is Francis Ford Coppola's 1974 masterpiece, The Godfather Part 2. Don't be put off by the name here, The Bad Father. That did tickle me and still does. It's put a smile on my face, that. Obviously licensing issues there. The review will take the usual format. We'll have a quick look at the box, then it'll be down onto the table for a look at the accessories, then it will be out with Michael himself, onto the stand, onto the turntable for a deep dive into the details, and then we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end, where we will be reuniting Michael with his father, Don Vito Corleone. A bit of background before we get into it. The Godfather Part 1 and Part 2, in my opinion, are the best gangster movies ever made, full stop. I'm not going to recommend that you seek them out for people that haven't seen it. I cannot believe there is anyone on the planet today who hasn't seen them, so I'm going to leave it there. Fishbones is a new one on me. This is the first figure of theirs I've owned, so it's the usual voyage of discovery. It's a brand new figure, just arrived, so as I say, completely new to me, so I have no idea what to expect. But that's enough of my wise guy wobblings. Onto the box. As I mentioned before, obviously due to licensing issues, it's an unlicensed figure. We've got the Bad Father at the top there in the same Godfather lettering with the same symbol in the top right hand corner of the puppet strings. It says 1/6 scale collectible action figure across the top, Fishbones down in the bottom right hand corner with the company logo, their email address here, and what you've got on the front here is a sort of, I'm pretty certain this is a picture of Al Pacino from Godfather Part 2, a sort of blurred out picture of Michael himself as he appeared when he went to visit Hyman Roth in Miami in the film. But yeah, that's on the front there. On the sides, it says The Bad Father again, and there is a shot of the figure itself. Same on the other side, it's repeated on the other side. Nothing on the bottom there, nothing on the top. We flip it round, and you've got the Fishbones logo again, The Bad Father, and the usual warnings and so on at the bottom there. Don't piss this figure off, or you may wake up next to a 6 scale horse's head. So yeah, that's the box. As you can see, the seals are still intact. Let's break those on camera actually and have a look at what we're looking at on the inside in case there's anything that we haven't seen. So we'll just open this up. Slipcover design as usual, and we'll just slide this off and see what we're looking at. Oh, just a very simple black shoebox design on the inside. Nothing to see there. So that's the box. So without further ado, let's dive down onto the table and have a look at all the accessories that come with this figure. It's fair to note at this point as well, this box comes in a black shipper, in the usual normal shipper box that comes with 6 scale figures, but then it's packaged in a larger box because the accessories with this figure are actually in foam, included in the larger box. But yeah, let's take a look at those accessories. So let's dive down onto the table. Okay, so here we are down on the table with all the accessories that come with your Michael Corleone figure. And we'll start with the hands as we always do. You know me and my hands. It's very meager on the hands here. There's an open palm set on the figure itself, and then you've got these two gripping hands. We'll have a close-up look at them. Sculpt here is not very good. It's okay. It's passable, I suppose. You've got some vein work in there, a little bit of an attempt at bone structure. There is a paint application on here, but it is nominal. There's some creasing in the fingernails, in the knuckle areas on the fingers. There is an attempt to sculpt some fingernails in there. There are some ugly seams on this as well. It's got a rather shiny look to it, which isn't altogether promising, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's fair to say at this point that Fishbones work to a price point. So, you know, you get what you pay for. Let's do the flexibility test. Yeah, these hands are very hard. So, yeah, it might be a hairdryer or hot water job for holding any of the accessories that we've got here. But, yeah, no, they're not the best hands I've ever seen. But, you know, like I say, it's a price point and it is what it is. And you get these two right and left gripping hands. We'll take a look at the open palm ones when we bring the figure out itself. So that's the hands. Let's have a look at the other accessories. We'll take a look actually at the larger ones first. We'll take a look at this table and chair. Now, they're a bit incongruous, this table and chair, and we'll get into the reasons behind that when we bring the figure out. But we'll take a look at them for what they are. First of all, you get this 6-scale table. Now, this is one hefty piece of work. It really, really is. The legs and the stem of this table are solid metal. And I am still struggling to come to terms with why some third-party companies insist on using so much metal when surely it would be cheaper to use plastic. But, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, this is a very heavy piece. As I say, all solid legs, all metal, and the stem is metal. The top, I believe, is plastic. And it's got a rather nice paint job on it. It's got this wood effect. It's got this high gloss effect. There's some graining effect in there. There's this nice sort of gold detailing around the edges. And that wood effect paint job is continued around the sides as well. If you're noticing any bits of black stuck to any of these accessories as well, that's because a lot of the foam came with it, and it's rather difficult to get off. So that's going to be something I need to do after we've completed this review. But yeah, the paint applications are okay. They're, if not brilliant. You've got some gold applications onto the metal here to give that detailing. It's a bit rough, and it's not the best paint application in the world. Little bit of weathering on those detailed areas, and you've got this sort of deep burgundy coloured paint application on the metal as well, with the gold over the top. Yeah, it's as I say, not the best paint application in the world, but as I say, we've got to keep in mind here we're working to a price point. So yeah, that's the table, and one solid piece of furniture it is too. So we'll put that to one side. We'll take a look at the chair. The chair is pretty much the same story here, with the bottom all being metal, including this section here where the springs are. I don't think they're real springs. No, they're not. They're just sculpted in metal. So this whole stem here that attaches to the bottom of the chair is metal, as are the legs here. There is some movement here. It's quite, I think I may be unscrewing this at this point. Yeah. It actually comes out. Yeah. Oh, that's good to see. So it comes in two parts. It is actually attached when you take it out of the box. But yeah, so that simply slots in there. But yeah, as with the table, the legs are all solid metal, I believe. Oh, yeah, they are. They've got this sort of brown effect. I suppose it's an attempt to make it look wood-like, but it's relatively matte. There's some gold detailing on the legs. We'll take this off so you can see this properly. Pretty decent paint applications there, if not the best I've ever seen. Yeah, and it does the job. So that slots into there. The seat of the chair itself is plastic, as are the arms. Yeah, the whole setup for the chair itself is plastic. Once again, you've got gold detailing on the side here. Not the best paint applications I've ever seen, but passable. You've got this sort of hard plastic seat and back. It's got some weathering on it, which is quite nice. There's an indentation there where it's been supposed to have been sat in, and there's an indentations here to make it look like it's been sat in as well. On the whole, not bad. I have seen worse. I've seen better. There's nothing going on the back there. It's just a simple matte brown finish. But yeah, it's a solid piece of furniture like the table. Does the job. Yeah, not bad at all. So we'll put that to one side. We'll just move these to the back here, and we'll get the rest of these accessories front and center. What you do get, talking of metal, is this telephone. Once again, a little bemused by this, but why this is solid metal is beyond me, but it is. So yeah, you've got a 6-scale old-fashioned telephone. with the rotary dial. Not much by the paint, by the way of paintwork here. Just one coating black by the looks of it. There's no numbers on this dial, and the dial doesn't move. So it's a bit primitive. The detailing isn't fantastic. The handset is also metal, and it's connected by what feels like a piece of plastic, no, nylon cord. That's a nylon cord there. So yeah, very simple, very basic, very heavy, and yeah, if someone can explain to me in the comment section below why third parties, especially the ones at the lower price bracket, are using so much metal, I'd be really interested to find out. But yeah, so there's your metal telephone. We'll put that on the table. You also get some other bits and pieces. You get some bottles of liquor, quite nicely done. The stickers are the same on both of these, and they both say blended Scotch whiskey. I'll try and get these into shot. Very simple. I don't know whether there's actually plastic in this bottle or whether it's just the colour of the plastic that they've used here. But yeah, you've got a sort of a yellow effect Scotch and a brown effect Scotch. Yeah, and these stickers on the front are just that. They are stickers on the front of the bottles. So yeah, pretty good, pretty effective from a distance. So yeah, 2 bottles of different coloured whiskey. What I believe is meant to be a bottle of brandy. It just says XO on the front, slightly different shape. Once again, sort of a dark brown effect. Some nice gold paint application on the top there. But yeah, simple, straightforward, but quite effective. I'll put that on the table. You get a little bundle of money. Not quite sure why they've included this, to be honest with you. It's not something that plays any part in the film. Maybe it's just something that they had lying around. But yeah, you've got a stack of $100 bills there if you're wanting to use those in the display. Not something I'd probably be using because it's not something I associate with the film. I don't remember at any point in the movie Michael Corleone sitting next to a stack of bills, but it is what it is. So yeah, you get those if you want to use them. You also comes included with this cigar. Now, correct me in the comment section if I'm getting this wrong, but I don't remember seeing Michael Corleone in either of the 2 films smoking a cigar. We did see him smoking cigarettes, but I don't think I ever saw him smoking a cigar. But once again, price point, and it is what it is, all things considered. So yeah, you've got a very basic 6-scale cigar here. The paint applications are, well, you can see for yourself here. There's some bleeding there into this rather basic smoke effect, which is just white. The paint applications aren't very good. The end here, this grey effect is bleeding into the white, and the actual body of the cigar itself is a very basic sculpt. This is all one piece of sculpted plastic, so it's basic. It's basic, not something I'd be using in the display. But yeah, the paint applications on there are they leave a bit to be desired. Let's say let's leave it that way. So yeah, that's the cigar. And finally, what you also get now, there are 3 sheets of newspaper here. Now, I'm assuming if you're wanting to, you can fold these down the middle and create a sort of replica newspaper. So it's a nice inclusion. They're just printed on paper. Very, very basic, as I say. A couple of odd things about them worth noting is, I don't know whether the camera's picking this up, this says the Edinburgh Evening Current on it. Why Michael Corleone would be reading a Scottish newspaper is sort of beyond me, but it is what it is. And these 2 sheets are identical. There's a 3rd sheet, which is also quite odd, because one side appears to be a Russian newspaper, and on the other side appears to be some kind of, I'm not sure whether it's Spanish, possibly, it says the Old Herald on there. So yeah, odd choice, shall we say, in Scottish or Russian newspaper, or Spanish newspaper. There's a vague link. I mean, he went to Cuba, but that's about as far as it goes. So maybe that's a reference to that. But yeah, It is what it is. We know we're working to a price point here. If you are wanting to make a replica newspaper to have him reading it while sat in the chair, that's an option as well. So there you have it. Those are all the accessories that come with your Michael Corleone figure. So without further ado, oh, forgot to mention, no stand included with this guy, which is a shame to see, but I'm assuming they're wanting you to put him in this chair. So without further ado, we'll bring out the main event himself. We'll get him onto a generic stand, onto the turntable, and have a close-up look at him. Okay, so here he is. It's the main event himself. It's Michael Corleone, straight out of the box, straight onto a stand, straight onto the turntable. And first impressions, bit of a mixed bag on this one. Yeah, some good stuff, some not so good stuff. I'll save my full opinion for the end, but yeah, I'm not 100% convinced. As I said in the previous section, we know that Fishbone's work to a price point. We're not talking high end here. We're talking the lower price bracket for 6-scale figures. So expecting perfection, you are always going to be disappointed. But yeah, we'll crack on. We'll do what we always do. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Let's stop him from spinning. And get him into shot, fully into shot without cutting his head off. We'll start at the bottom here. So what we've got here are, on his feet are just shoes, essentially pegged straight in. There are no socks here, as you can see there. Yeah, this just these brown shoes with some black detailing on them. I believe he wore loafers in the film. These are more dressy, to be honest with you. So the screen accuracy isn't there. Colour's not right either. He wore brown loafers, but they're all one piece of sculpted plastic with sculpted laces. They're brown, as I said, with some of this sort of black detailing. Moving up, we've got a cotton suit. The cotton feels pretty good quality, if not the best I've ever felt, but it most certainly isn't the worst. The stitching is quite nice. We'll bring him round so we can have a look. Yeah, the six-scale stitch work is pretty good. The trousers themselves don't fall particularly well, unfortunately. They've got this rather large, what looks like, well, I wouldn't say that it's a bell bottom, but they do narrow ever so slightly, but they widen at the bottom here. And I'm assuming this is because Fishbone's sort of directing you to pose him sat in the chair. And the rather, I won't say bell bottom, well, let's call them bell bottoms. These bell bottoms would, hopefully, I would imagine, cover up the fact that there are no socks on this figure. So if you've got his legs crossed when he's sat in the chair, maybe this having this extra length to the trousers is an attempt to try and cover up those rather ugly ankle joints. But yeah, let's continue up. The suit itself, you've got here what feels like a pleather or plastic. I think it's pleather. Yeah, you've got a pleather belt here. The crotch area is stitched nicely. There is this seam work in here. The stitching on here is pretty good, although the material itself isn't the best, as I said, the best cotton in the world. The fall is okay, although it looks like it could do with pressing. The shirt itself, now that's a white cotton, and you've got this, the collar's nice actually. Normally when we look at third-party figures like this, especially in suits, the collars are all over the place. But this one's quite well done, and yeah, it's in proportion. It's sitting quite well, but yeah, it's a plain cotton shirt. Let's see if yeah, I'm not sure how this fastens. Looks like I don't know whether these are buttons. I'm not 100% certain. Let's see if we can't. Now this herein lies a problem for what I'm planning for this figure. It doesn't look like these buttons actually are undoable. Unfortunately, but yeah, you've got this beige tie, which is that sort of harder nylon material, so it falls quite well, which is a nice touch, even though this back part keeps slipping out. So yeah, the shirt's done quite well. Let's have a look at the stitch work on there. Yeah, the stitch work looks pretty good. The jacket itself, obviously made of the same cotton material as the pants. It's got this sort of brown lining, this brown nylon lining, which looks nice. This stitch work on the pockets, I don't believe any of these pockets are functional. Oh, possibly they are. No, they're not. No, none of the functioning pockets there. But the cut is pretty good, and colour looks relatively screen accurate. Herein lies one of my issues with this figure. Now, as I understand it, and as memory serves me, Pacino wore 4 suits when he played Michael in Godfather Part 2. There was a grey silk suit with a very metallic finish. There was a dark pinstripe grey suit. A black suit, which he wore either as a 3-piece or as a 2-piece, depending on what scene he was doing. And then finally, there was the sort of beige, sandy-coloured suit, almost white suit, that he wore when he went to visit Hyman Roth in Miami, which I am assuming they've tried to replicate here, because as you can see on the box, this is the picture that they've used. Unfortunately, in that scene, there were 2 scenes actually, but in both of those scenes when he was in Miami, he didn't wear this beige tie. He wore a cravat. Now, my plan for this figure when I got it was that I was going to remove this tie and actually create my own 6-scale cravat to replicate that look, which obviously has not been scuppered, but it's going to be all the more difficult for the fact that it doesn't look like this shirt actually comes apart. Yeah. I'll still be going ahead with the mods, and we'll probably put up a video of those mods once it's been done. But yeah, so the colour is pretty much there for the couple of scenes that he does wear this this suit. The accuracy is not right with this tie, I'm pretty certain of that. But the cut is okay. It falls quite well. As I say, could probably do with pressing, but the quality of the seams and the stitch work is good, and he's showing some cuff, and I always like to see a bit of cuff shown on 6-scale figures. It gives it that extra sense of realism. So yeah, overall the suit is pretty good. Let's take a look at this head sculpt now. Let's get him off the stand and into camera for this head sculpt. Now, this is a fixed neck head sculpt. Let's just angle it so we can see this properly. Now, as viewers to my channel will know, I am a huge Pacino fan. In my collection, I've got an entire shelf just dedicated to him, and I'm also a massive Godfather fan as well. I've got both Damn Toys takes on Vito Corleone, as played by Marlon Brando, which this is meant to accompany. Now, this head sculpt is out of all the ones I have, this is probably the least accurate. But once again, bear in mind, this is working to a price point. They've most certainly captured the likeness of Pacino, but from certain angles it is off. Specifically from the side there, I'm getting more of a Dustin Hoffman feel than an Al Pacino feel there. From certain angles, yes, it works. From others, it doesn't. The sculpt itself is pretty good. That mouth is wrong as far as I'm concerned. That, as I say, that's more Hoffman than Pacino. But the paint applications are nice. You've got sort of a hint of a 5 o'clock shadow there. The eyebrows are painted nicely. The hair itself is quite well done. And for that particular scene where he was, or scenes where he went to Miami, he did have this slick back hair. And they've captured that quite nicely. The colour's right. So what I would say that this head sculpt is the paint applications are good, but the sculpt itself is a little bit lacking. It is. I think getting it at the right angle, yes, you'll get Pacino. Get it at the wrong angle, you'll get Hoffman. That's just my opinion. The eyes themselves now. Pacino has odd coloured eyes. He has a green-grey eyes which are rather unique, and they've sort of captured this in, but this is coming off more as a blue, and the paint applications aren't brilliant. They're a bit flat, and the pupils aren't very well done, although they do catch the light quite well. It's a fixed neck head sculpt, so the movement's okay. Therein lies something else as well. That neck looks too long to me. Proportion-wise, it's just off. The neck is way too long. Like I say, having got several Pacino figures in my collection, probably the best one, the best sculpt is the Carlito Briganti by Blitzway. This one, the neck is way too long. It needs to sit lower. Hopefully, when I have done the mods I'm going to do to the shirt and put the cravat on, having a cravat on will hopefully take away some of that long neck look that it's got. But overall, yeah, the sculpt is okay. It's passable at this price point, but it most certainly isn't the best Pacino I've ever seen, and it most certainly isn't the best Pacino I own either. But you know, as I say, it is what it is. You get what you pay for. So there you have it. That is Fishbone's take on Michael Corleone. Oh, we didn't cover the body. Let's just quickly have a look at the articulation. Let's get him back into shot again. Now, the body underneath this, there's no padding here. So it's straight onto the body itself. Collectors of 6-scale figures will know what I mean when I say it feels quite cheap. You can see those shiny hands there. Let's have a go at the articulation. Yeah, it's very, very basic. I think there is a butterfly joint there at the shoulder. There's some movement in the arms there. It's just one single joint at the elbow. Let's have a look at the knees. Yeah, there's no double joint there, just a single joint. Obviously, it's pegged feet at the bottom there. So yeah, the body feels like what it is. It's at a price point to a budget. It's not the best body in the world. But there you go. It's not janky. It's not loose. You've got movement in the chest area there. There's nothing flopping around. It just doesn't feel. It feels made to a budget. Let's put it that way. So let's pop him back on the stand and go in with the final thoughts on this guy. It's a tough one. This. I think the head sculpt is off. Obviously, that neck is too long. The actual sculpt itself is off. Although from certain angles it is Pacino. The paint applications on the head sculpt are pretty good. I will say that for this figure. The tailoring on the suit itself, although not screen accurate, is good, and the quality of the materials that they've used is good. Scoring this out of 10 is a difficult one. If I was to score this out of 10 and not consider the price point, I would have to give it a 5 or a 6. But considering the price point, I would probably have to give it more of a 7, maybe even higher, maybe even touching a 7.5. Taking into account the pricing on this and where it's priced, it's not a bad figure. However, taking price out of the equation, I mean, I know Present Toys have done a version of Al Pacino's Michael Corleone from Godfather, and I think Dragon in Dreams have done one as well. From what I've seen, they all have their shortcomings, but this one, I would say misses. It's a miss for me. Not a miss at the price point, but a miss because obviously I'm going to compare it to the other figures in my collection. So the reason for me getting this was so I could do some mods to it. And I will be still undertaking those, however difficult it will be with that shirt. But yeah, can I recommend this figure? Probably not, no. To be honest with you, no. I think, although I don't own any of the Michael Corleone figures from The Godfather Part 2, I think there are probably better ones out there. But, as I said before, at the risk of repeating myself, at this price point, yeah, it's pretty good at this price point. And we'll leave it at that. We'll give him a 6, a 6.5. So that's it. That's Michael Corleone, as given to us by Fishbones. What are your thoughts on this figure? Have you got it in your collection? Are you thinking of picking it up? I'd be fascinated to hear what your thoughts are on this one. Sometimes it's those figures that don't quite hit the mark that actually caught more conversation than those that we all agree are hits. So yeah, I'd be fascinated to hear what your take is on this. So please put a comment in the comment section below. And that about wraps it up for this review. I hope this review's been useful. Thank you for watching. What have we got coming up? Oh, plenty of stuff coming up, plenty of stuff on the horizon. The BM Project's Canada bike, that has finally arrived from Akira. We've been waiting on that a long time, so a review for that will be going up shortly. We've also got Hot Toys Scarlet Witch from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If Customs will release it to me, that's going to be going up soon, fingers crossed. Obviously, we're all waiting on the In-Art Batman. That's due in soon. What else have we got coming in? Sideshow Collectibles, Dirty Harry. A year and a half I've been waiting for that. I'm just hoping it lands soon. And lots more as well. Lots of new stuff. Lots of retro reviews will be going up as well. Lots of showcases. So please, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is from Michael Corleone, from myself, take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase. Okay, so you are probably wondering, why, Mr. Go Figure, have we not gone to the showcase? And there is a good reason for that. Unfortunately, we won't be having a showcase. You're probably also wondering as well, as why does it look like Michael Corleone has thrown himself from a 6-story window? There is a reason for this. On trying to pose him for the showcase to get him into the provided chair and get his legs at a 90-degree angle, unfortunately his left leg popped out, broke, and will not go back in. Now I've attempted to get this leg back in, but unfortunately it will not stay in that ball joint. Even when it's put back in, with the maximum amount of pressure, as soon as you try and move it, it just falls straight out again. So yeah, as we mentioned in the previous section, this body is not very good. It's a very cheap body, and it literally broke the first time I attempted to pose it, and it does not want to work. So yeah, this obviously is going to affect my score. That 5, maybe a 6, has now gone down to a 0 or 1 at best. It's unfortunate. It is. They all can't be winners, I'm afraid. Yeah, this isn't one of them. So yeah, there you have it. That's Michael Corleone with one floppy leg. Yeah, so that wraps it up for this this review. I hope it's been useful for you. As I mentioned before, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next time, take care of yourselves and happy collecting from myself and from Michael Corleone, who will never dance the foxtrot again. It's goodbye.